This is nice. It could be a silver dime. I just saw something shiny.
Now that eagle's popping.
Ow, fuck!
He got me right there.
This feels like a super fair trade to me.
Yep. I picked up the plug and I just see a bunch of coins falling out.
I've never had any luck finding much in the basement.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh my God!
Jim, do this. You moved the rocks.
Unbelievable.
We are detectorists with a passion for history.
There's nothing like the thrill of trekking across old New England fields
Cellar holes.
Barnyards.
and old homes,
Hitting a target.
digging a plug and recovering a relic that reunites us with our past.
We unearth the mysteries that our ancestors left behind. We are All Metal Militia.
Defending history.
And this is River Valley relic hunting.
Hi, I'm Jim Charuhas. I called the guys at base camp to reveal my new permission. Had a good day today.
Beautiful day out after all that rain. So it's been about 3 weeks since we've all dug together, and Jim called us up saying he had a sweet permission.
So what's the scoop, Jim?
Got a nice permission for us over in Alstead.
I'm pretty excited that Jim just called us up and told us about a permission in Alstead, New Hampshire.
Oh yeah?
And it's a 1840s house. Lots of fields, yards, pastures. So we should be able to come up with some kind of history.
So with Jim's permissions, they're hit or miss. I mean, sometimes he gets us on really good land with a lot of history. Other times, not so much. Sounds like there's a lot of promise there, huh?
Yeah, and there's somewhere there's a blacksmith shop, so
There's a blacksmith shop on the property?
between the two properties there's a blacksmith shop.
Awesome. I started getting really excited. I mean, old house, some history of a blacksmith, a lot of land, knowing what we could find and the kind of stories we could tie together for them. It got my heart going. It's been a while since we've all dug together.
I know, man. I was just thinking that I haven't seen you guys in like, what, 3 weeks, something like
It's
that?
been a while.
It's been a
You've been
long
on
time.
vacation having fun.
Yep. Oh, Jim, speaking of which, I got a present for you, dude.
Present for me?
Yeah.
Really? I had no idea or inclination what it could be.
You gotta close your eyes, I'll give it to you though.
No, I'm afraid.
I promise it's not a rubber, it's not a rubber snake.
Jim likes
Jim
snakes.
does not like snakes.
No, don't.
All right, here you go.
You gonna make him guess what it is first?
He was kind of apprehensive because he knows that we like to play tricks on him.
With my fist clenched on it, I still couldn't tell what it really was. Is it a play gun? Oh, wow.
Isn't that awesome?
It was a small toy cap gun and immaculate condition. It couldn't have been anything better. It was awesome.
Kirkland Avenger. I think that's 1940s. That's kind of your style, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
It's almost like a little Derringer, huh?
he was pretty excited. So I think we're setting ourselves up pretty well to next time maybe put like a rubber snake in his hand. I just thought that would look good on your display.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. There's pretty much always some sort of bet. You know, today it was for $5.
No silver, oldest coin.
Oldest coin period if there's no silver. That
Okay.
works with me. So oldest silver or no silver, oldest coin. Throw me your money, boys. It's happening. So I love Jim and Kendall like brothers. I really do. But when it comes time for competition, I mean, I want to smoke them out of the water.
My plan to win the bet is just to do what I always do. You know, be Ed and Jim. That's what I do. We pull into the house, and it's this old brick house with a big sweeping yard on one side and other yards rolling down through the back. Just looks old. It looks like great digging material.
So the only thing that I have issues with when it comes to houses that people are currently living in, a lot of modern trash, and you're really gonna have to work for those deep older targets. But other than that, the rest of the property looked amazing.
The guys were excited about those large flat areas around the house.
So when we first arrived to a new permission, we like to meet up with the landowners
Hello, how
Hi
are
there.
you today?
and just kind of get a feel for what they're thinking and what they're hoping that we accomplish with our search.
My name is Kara Tausig, and my husband and I have owned this property for coming up on 5 years. I would love to display cool things that they find, and I really like all the agricultural things as well. So if they find some cool horseshoes or tools or things like that, definitely be interested. We're excited to see what they find that can add to our knowledge of what happened.
The homeowner was gracious to bring us inside. She also invited us to sit down and look at some old pictures of the property.
Blacksmith was Calvin Dinsmore.
So the Dinsmores were very well known in Alstead, New Hampshire in the 1800s. In 1815 is when Calvin constructed their house and learned the trade of blacksmithing, where he became very well known throughout the community, where they actually called him Uncle Calvin.
Apparently he had a son, also a blacksmith, who operated here into the mid-1800s. Wow. The original forge was across the street.
Another neat thing about the Dinsmores was that Calvin's son Thomas later became a New Hampshire state senator.
You said that you might have pictures or stuff that you'd like to show us?
I do have, I have a lot of pictures, actually.
So while we were sitting there on the couch and Kara was passing us pictures of the property from way back when, it showed that there was probably a lot of potential that could be buried there.
This shows the facade of the house with when the road was dirt in front of it.
The road used to be further away from the house than it is now.
It only needed to be wide enough for a carriage, back in that time. And catching up to present, now we have vehicles on either side of the road, and that road is a lot wider, which takes away a lot of that real estate in the front, and unfortunately probably took away a lot of the history as well.
That, obviously is where everybody came in and out. So that's one of the spots that I wanted to hit first.
Well, we're definitely interested to see what kind of history we can pull out of the ground today, for sure.
I'm really excited to see what you find.
Here you go. Thank you very much.
Sure.
We'll go grab our stuff and we'll get to it.
Usually when we go to a place to detect, the things that are on our mind about what we're gonna find that day, buttons, coins, just a bunch of cool relics from the past. And with the story of the blacksmith shop that was right across the road at one point, I was really hoping to find some relics from that time.
When we decided on the first spot, I think it was really based on Jim. Jim had been drooling over this little field yard, and so he had been just talking about this spot pretty much nonstop, all the way to Alstead, and so it seemed like a good place to start.
Within a couple of minutes, Kendall was on his first target.
It's ringing a solid 94. I'm digging it, man. I'm too excited.
Thought that was going to be the first big thing we found.
Oh, I see silver, Ed.
So here we were again, and Kendall's hollering out silver.
Usually when you find silver, you know it. It's a really distinctive sound, at least on my machine. I just saw silver, buddy.
Get out of here. I mean, at a permission like that, you hear silver. I mean, it could date all the way back to the 1700s for all I knew.
Oh, it's a Merc.
Merc dime?
Mercury Dime. Whew. I got my heart racing.
So just like that, Kendall's in the lead with a Mercury Dime, which I'm not scared. I mean, that's easily beatable.
Mercury Dimes are the dime prior to the current Roosevelt dime. It's 90% silver dime. It's got this really cool design on it that I love.
It made me feel a little anxious to get on something, but at the same time, I have to keep telling myself there's a lot of ground to cover. Don't get yourself worked up over one target.
Jim gets excited from time to time, and when he's not the first one finding targets, you can definitely tell it starts to get to him a little bit. He was out there swinging around, and all of a sudden he calls out to us, "Hey, I think I got a good target."
Are we betting again?
No, well, I'll tell you what, I would bet on
Confidence
this machine.
level dropped on that.
As far as IDing targets, I would bet on this machine, no problem.
Let me see. So what do you got?
Let me hear it.
That could be an Indian head.
Where?
See, your machine won't identify it
Nope.
like this well.
Let me see.
I guarantee you. This thing
I'll
identifies.
tell you right now, if that's an Indian head penny, I'll buy one of those machines next week.
Possibly an Indian head.
Let's see it. Do it.
No
Prove
way.
us wrong. I hope. I hope it is.
If it's an Indian head, I will buy you lunch again, even though you already owe me Indian.
If it's an Indian head, I will second that, and I'll buy you a lunch on another day.
It's definitely like a low
Watch it be a
copper,
half
brassy
real or something.
kind of signal. I mean, it could be a square nail, but it's definitely in that range diggable for Indian head. Part of a carriage.
Part of a cast iron?
Yeah. Jeez, not a coin. So what threw me off on that was I still was working, getting the settings right on my detector.
So I was working my way around the barn site. I ended up getting a pretty good tone.
Do you guys want to swing this real quick? It's near where you found the silver dime. It has a high tone to it. Kendall, Jim.
Sure.
Well, now it's like a mid-tone. It's kind of broken, but it has a little bit of a high tone to it.
Sounds kind of trashy, man.
Think so? Jim,
Oh,
do you want to try this or no?
It's clear over here.
Yeah, one direction is kind of clear, but... So you gonna try this, or you want me to dig it?
Good.
I'm just gonna dig it.
I'll try it.
No, I got it.
My hole.
I got it. I don't know. Kendall said he was digging a lot of pennies and stuff over here too, so, and the ground's not. Oh, it's right there. Oh! Oh, it's got a relic. Conestoga bell. Yeah, it still rings. It's got the dinger. Oh, it's broken though.
Right then and there, I knew that I had a pretty decent relic to be able to clean up and present to the landowners.
Unfortunately, you can see it's broken right here, clearly. But and that happened long ago because I mean that blends with whatever. It would be shiny if it just snapped because of my shovel. But so they put these on wagons, carriages, whatever. You know, before there were horns on vehicles. So you know, you're taking your wagon to town or whatever, and you know, you hear that coming around the bend, and it would just warn other carriages coming the other way that, you know, there's something coming down the road. So that's your early form of a car horn right there.
So I just got an awesome button tone.
What'd you get?
It's ringing button tone, I'll tell you that. Where is it? Just saw it. Ooh, Jim, it is a button. Oh, buddy, Jim.
What does it say?
It's a militia button.
Ooh.
Ah, Ed! Militia button. I dug a really cool early militia button. Look at that guy. I've dug those before.
Man.
That's awesome. That's militia, early 1800s. We're starting to get on it now, dudes. They were sold just by general merchants. This one was made in London. You can see it says best quality London on the back. So we can't really specify a manufacturer, but somebody bought this who was in probably a local militia, and they would put it on their shirt to let people know that they were part of it. I mean, who knows who this button belonged to? It could have been one of the Dinsmores. It could have been a patron who was coming to buy supplies.
That shows that there's military ties to this land and
Oh man, that's
published
a
to the
nice
house.
one.
That's a beautiful button.
We just moved to the backyard, and oh my gosh, it's as good as the front yard.
Getting into those, yards right behind the house where people have hung out and continue to hang out, there's a lot of things that could be lost over the years.
It's like a bracelet. I thought it was a piece of trash, but it rang up like brass or something, and it's got a design around it. It's just really bent.
Here we go. This is something probably made from the local blacksmith. Ready? This is definitely hand forged. I can tell. There we go. Look at that. Now to us, it's history, so we appreciate it for sure. But it's just iron. It's just iron. It's like this usually would go into, I don't know, something like that would probably, I could hang that on the wall and clean it, but if there was a blacksmith shop across the road, there you go. That's probably something that was produced right here on site.
24, 27. Sounds like a penny or a modern dime. Something shiny. What is it?
Ooh, what do you got? Oh man, I saw what that was. Well, I saw that it said 1 dime on the back.
Yeah.
It's older than the 1 dime I found. Huge.
It's 1907 Barber Dime. I whacked it though pretty good. Can't believe I did that.
Nice job, dude. Nice
Thank
job,
you.
Barber Dime.
That makes my day, considering I couldn't even figure out how to use my detectorist for the way it was set up.
The day's going really great. We're finding some great relics. We're having a fun time. It was super cool that Marty offered to feed us lunch.
It was unexpected that we had this offer of somebody making us some food.
For once, it's a good thing that I didn't bring lunch.
Couldn't ask for a better spot to eat hot dogs.
Oh, I know. So there's some baked beans too.
Oh my God, you
There's
guys are
mustard,
too nice.
relish.
So we were just sitting there eating lunch and, shooting the breeze like we were friends for many years. And it was a really good feeling to be a part of it and kind of recharge our batteries and get ready for the second half of the day.
As lunch finished up, I think I sort of mentioned to Marty that we would be willing to help out. So we went down to the basement to move gigantic stones. I don't quite think we knew what we were getting into when we volunteered to help.
It was no easy feat. Those things were massive.
And suddenly Ed and I look around and it's like, Jim's not here.
Jim, are you coming down?
No.
I really didn't want to get too involved with that because my back was giving me a little problem already, and
I'm getting Jim.
So Jim says he has back issues.
yeah, no, I just got recovered from delivering machines and stuff with that 16-foot truck. I don't dare. You know, not down there helping. I'm hearing it from the guys. And I think you might be able to get 2 at a time on that.
You could if you were helping.
You know, I'd like to get to work the next day, so I kind of didn't get too involved with that because I didn't think I didn't want to mess up my back.
So yeah, Kendall and I are just sweating away. You know, we've been searching all day trying to find some relics, and here we are breaking our backs coming up and down these stairs with a little dolly and, you know, heaving and hoeing. And you get out there and you look over and Jim is just having a good old conversation with Kara, and, you know, it just, I don't know. I don't think he really understood what we were actually going through, and I don't really think he cared.
Hey, look at that.
Voila. So we got all the stones out of the basement, and Marty let us know that eventually they'd be pouring some concrete down there. So if we ever wanted to detect, now was the time.
Kendall and I, you know, we told Jim we were going to be nice and let him go down there and metal detect, but quite frankly, we just didn't have the energy to do it ourselves. But we knew that there was potential of something being down there because those rocks had been covering up that ground for quite some time.
You know, I'm not that excited about detecting in basements. It's dark and it's crowded, and oftentimes you can get interference from, you know, the different electrical stuff down there.
I've never had any luck finding much in the basement. Oh,
That's coin tone. Get out of here. Here, give me your pinpointer. I'll go down. Oh, it's right there. It's a copper. It's a copper coin.
Yep.
no way.
Get out of here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you found a copper coin in the
Oh
basement.
my God.
Why did we let Jim do this? We moved the rocks.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
Let me see that.
Lo and behold, this beautiful copper coin flips right out of the ground. I couldn't believe it. Ed couldn't believe it. I don't think anybody could believe it.
Don't rub it.
I'm not going to, but I saw that pop out. I'm like, oh, what is it?
You heard them, it was screaming.
Yeah.
Knowing that, you know, we had just moved all of those rocks out of there, I think it really added to the excitement because, you know, all that hard work paid off.
I'm gonna go get my.
It's a largie. It's a matron.
I'm gonna get my machine now. This particular copper coin that Jim found is a braided hair large cent, minted between 1840 and 1857.
That was the oldest coin I found on the property.
You know why it was in the basement? I don't know. Why it was under a gigantic stone, I could only wonder.
It's not uncommon to hear stories about, you know, superstitious individuals that lived back in the 1800s. So oftentimes they would put coins in the corner of their houses or on the outside, you know, a certain, you know, distance from the house, from the corner, from whatever. Based on where Jim found that coin, I mean, it could have had a significant value to the original homeowner and why it was right where it was.
Today was a fantastic day. All three of us found some great pieces of history. We had a ton of fun.
There was a lot of firsts for us. You know, the coin being found in the basement, that had never happened to us before.
The best moment of the day, quite honestly, it wasn't the coin, it wasn't the bell, it was that chain, because I knew that that had ties back to the blacksmith.
I'm really excited to show Kara and Marty what we found. Things that range, you know, over the entire lifespan of that house we found, and I think they're going to be really excited.
So we've cleaned up the relics, and today we're actually going to be heading to base camp and meeting up with Marty and Kara to present them what we found.
It was really awesome to get a chance to kind of clean it up a little bit before doing the big reveal, and I hope they really like them.
Hey guys.
Hey, how are ya?
So I really think they're going to be impressed with everything we found. They might not know a whole lot about the relics and items like we do, but everything that has turned up, the majority of the things that we turned up, even the coins, date back to when that house and that property originated.
I'm very excited to hear what you learned about all of these treasures here.
So I was really excited. I pretty quickly found a Mercury Dime, 1935. And I was the big winner for a good chunk of the day, I would say, right, Jim? But then Jim had to find an older dime.
Older silver dime.
An older silver dime.
So at the end of the day, Jim, after, not helping me and Kendall out and doing everything else besides, work, ends up winning our bet.
Finding this Barber Dime, 1907. Now, Barber was before the Mercury, and they call this a Barber Dime because the person that designed this coin was named Barber.
Okay.
I enjoy the Barber coins. That's 1907.
Oh, wow.
So there we were, presenting things to Marty and Cara that we had found on their property. And, their eyes were lighting up for everything. I mean, they were just as excited as we were when we were digging it.
That right there was probably, there's a very, very good chance that was made on your property at that blacksmith site.
There was a lot of history found. There was a lot of relics that date back to the early days of when that house and that property was settled. And, you could really sense that they felt what we were feeling about it and how significant some of that stuff was.
I think I was most excited to show them that early Militia button, and I think that they were really excited to see that.
There's an eagle on it.
Yeah, there's an eagle holding arrows and laurel.
Wow.
So right after the War of 1812, the British were chomping at the bit to get back into American commerce. So they immediately started importing many things, but buttons were one of those things.
They were very excited about the things that we found and where we found it. This was my find of the day, 1857 large cent penny
Wow.
in your basement. I guess I'm
After moving all those hard rocks.
Ed and I moved all the big rocks.
Moved all those
Jim
rocks for
swooped in.
Jim to go on down there and find the treasure.
I offered for those two guys to go down there and do it up, and Kendall said, "No, you go ahead, Jim."
We were too tired. Our arms were we needed a break.
I walked over there and got that signal that was too good to be true, I was like, oh, it's probably a big piece of metal in the ground there. It was scraping around, it was a little dark down there, and this just kind of popped out. It was just sitting like this on another rock.
Yeah.
When I dug it out, it just came up and flipped up like that.
That popped out and the light hit it just right, and I knew the size of it and the shape. I'm like, oh my God, it's a coin. And we just moved those rocks right out of that area, that corner there. So
Wow.
But that's got some weight to it.
This is so cool.
The large cent that I found, being the location where it was in their house, probably has some meaning to them.
Thank you for coming and spending a day with us and helping us to learn more about our property too.
Yeah.
That was a really great experience for us.
And it was a good exchange too, in that you were able to help with some of those big heavy stones.
I was really excited to show all of those relics to Marty and Cara and offer them to them, that those pieces can stay at the house and stay with them.
Marty and Cara are unbelievable people, very generous, very kind. We really hope that penny that Jim found in the basement was from the Dinsmore family, because if it was, that's probably why it was left there. It was for good luck and good fortune. And now Marty and Cara have that in their possession. They're going to be able to display it proudly in the house. It's going to remain where it was set to be originally for, many years to come. And I cannot wish them anything but good fortune and happiness from here on out.
Even it's got some special chemical.
Bees. Ow, son of a...
I hear this scream like a little girl. No, and I've never seen the man move so fast in my life. It's very easy to get hurt.
He got me right on my hand, man. Woo! He got me right there. Just starting to see it. My whole wrist is hurt. Good thing I'm not allergic.